So a couple of weeks back, I took about a 400 and some odd mile round trip out to Abilene, Texas to buy this camera right here. This is a Rolleiflex. I've done the research on it. It's from 1932. It's called the old standard 620 model, or they had a 620, 621, 622. Then they came out with the new standard. This was originally just called standard, but it became old standard when they came out with the new standard. But this little camera, they made about 4,900 of them, and then they were in the tens of thousands after that. Great little camera. Top pops open. You're able to view through here, this lens, and then this is the actual taking lens where the image is taken. Now, bought this from a fella for a $100 bill. That's why I drove so far, because that's a pretty good deal. You know, you're kind of playing lottery at that point, because the guy was like, I've had it, I don't even know where I got it from, I don't even know if it works, but you know, it's got that, it's got this light meter which doesn't work, a box of film, never opened. Well, I opened it just because the glue was giving way, but Verichrome pan, Kodak Verichrome pan. Now this stuff here, 120 format, looks like it was $2.15, and it expired January of 1998. And I'll run it at some point and whatnot. But anyway, you know, I turned the crank a couple times and just kind of listened for everything and turned it and cocked the shutter. If I remember how to do this. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh, right there. So, cock the shutter and click, and it works. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me just crack the back open real quick and see what's going on with this, and would you look at here. There was a roll of film that had been exposed, been used in the back of the camera. Now, when was this shot? I am going to guess, first off, the guy I bought this from wasn't alive if this expired in 1998, because I'm guessing, since they're the exact same film, that they were probably purchased around the same time. If this expired in 98, it was probably from 95 or 96. So we're talking probably about 30 years ago that somebody took pictures, and there'll be 12 exposures, if done properly, that'll be on here. Bit of a time capsule. I'm going to attempt to develop it, and we'll see what we get. I will share the results right here. Well, at the end of the video. But I'll show you the process. Some of the research I've done has said develop it as normal. You know, it's old film, but the exposures were taken long ago. There may be some fogging on the negatives. I don't know. But I've read a couple different things. Some people are like, you know, you have to develop it this one way or the other way. But we're gonna give it a shot and see what we come up with. And if whoever took these pictures 3 decades ago did it properly, we should be able to get some usable visual results. Let's go see what we got. For reference, I did take a few shots with this camera the other day down by the river. And even though these scans aren't necessarily very clean, it does show that, yeah, the camera works. Seems to work pretty good. What I have here is the Patterson light tight tank. It's called the something or other. It's on the lid. I don't have the lid with me. It's in there, whatever. But we'll be putting this film in here. Now what's cool about this tank is you can do 35 millimeter or you can do 120. All you gotta do is crack, pull, snap, and now that'll fit. How cool is that? So you can do one roll of 120 or 2 rolls of 35 millimeter at a time. Saves on your chemistry. You know, you just put in, 500 milliliters or whatever it is, that amount. And yeah, so I'm gonna go into the changing bag here. This dark bag looks like a big t-shirt, and you just put everything inside. And as soon as that reel or roll is on the reel, I'll put this top on, snap it shut, and now no light can get in there, and I can sit at the sink and do all my chemical wizardry. So yeah. Yeah, I'm really hoping that whatever these pictures are, I hope they're not just nature pictures out in the woods, 12 shots of flowers or something, because that could be any time. I'm hoping there's something on it that kind of indicates when they were shot, whether it be a brand new 1995 Nissan Altima. That's if they had those back then, I don't remember. Old packaging, old signage, maybe an old building that's no longer there. Some indication to where they were shot, like in a city or a street corner, something to go off of, and just kind of figure out a little bit of the history there. I think it'd be pretty cool. Time for the moment of truth. Don't know if we're gonna have anything. We're about to find out. There's a couple things. We'll put it on the scanner here after it dries. I'm tired of having this stupid thing on my shirt, so I put it on a 9/16 wrench. Yeah. So what did we find? What did we find? Not much. I think whoever happened to use this particular camera and this particular roll of film might have been 5 years old. So that'd make them, what, 35 now? Something like that. So you're an adult now, and I hope you shoot better images. there were quite a few that were just not exposed or passed over. The Rolleiflex, this original old standard Rolleiflex, when you go to crank it, it cranks to the next frame and it counts it up. That's after you manually set it on number 1. It's not like the newer ones where it can sense the paper and the film come together and start counting. So there might have been a little bit of winding going on at first, because the first, I don't know, that much was blank, like nothing there. And then there were 2 or 3 that were highly overexposed. There's nothing to pull from. And then there were 2 where you see a lampshade and it's crooked, it's Dutch angled, it's not very, very good. Well, I don't need to be telling you, I need to be showing you. So you've got this one, which is, I can't even tell if that's the right way up. I think it is. It's not exposed properly. It's like a double exposure if you look. I mean, you've got 2 lampshades kind of merged one into the other, so I think it's something that was shot twice. That's the other thing about the Rolleiflex from back then, is once you fired the shutter, you could cock the shutter and fire it again on the same frame. The newer Rolleiflexes prevented that. You had to advance to the next frame before you could fire the shutter, because it was all in the mechanism of moving to the next frame, not separate like it is on this old one. So somebody did a double exposure that's really interesting. It's artistic. That's what I'll call it. Again, a much better shot of that lamp, and can't really tell what kind of light bulb that is. It's in there. Regular incandescent, I'm sure. The thing is it was shot sideways. And you can't really tell by looking at this, but it was shot sideways. So somebody was really goofing around when they shot this. Now, it is a better picture, and you can see my thumbprint on there because, you know what, whatever, is what it is. Then you have this, and I don't know what to make of this. I can't tell which direction is what. There's a big black blob in the foreground. It looks to be maybe a fluorescent light on the wall, some sort of flower decoration in the corner, and then a statue of some kind or some kind of wood carving. Not really sure, but it gets creepy. This one right here has a bit of a creep factor to it. Same shot. This is the same shot, but it's exposed a little bit better. It's overexposed in the background, but you can kind of make out a face. It almost looks like a clown face or somebody with heavy makeup over the eyes, maybe a red nose. I don't know. A white cheek. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but it is kind of scary looking. Yeah. So that's what I got out of the whole thing. Everything else was either highly under, over, or non-exposed. So, you know, no buried treasure here, no amazing finds or anything like that, and that's okay. But I do have that one roll of the exact same Verichrome that still to this day has not been opened. On that, that's all I got. Not much to it, really. Kind of a low energy day. There'll be more. I've got more stuff coming. I've got a new Canon AE1 that I picked up, and I've been goofing with that. So all kinds of different stuff. Getting back to the YouTube world here in the year 2025. All right. Y'all be good, be cool, be careful wherever you may be. We'll see you down the road.